Hello, and welcome back to another lesson of your training as a valued member of the Shadowfell Anomaly Research and Containment Ministry, S.A.R.C.M. In our previous lesson, we discussed Shadowfell bleeds, why they occur, what to do when near one, and how to properly secure the surrounding area to ensure that no harm comes to the public. In today's lesson, we will be discussing Shadowfell products. By the end of this training, you should be able to explain the various stages of a product's life cycle, explain why a product is created, understand product feeding patterns, and identify methods used to avoid or contain Shadowfell products. Let's begin. Section 1. Brief history and recap of the Shadowfell. The Shadowfell was first documented thousands of years ago in a region now classified as... Early researchers described it as a mirror environment saturated with what is now known as negative energy. For centuries, it remained a subject of academic curiosity. This changed following an incident involving 3 Lyceum students during their second life studies. Records indicate the students entered the Shadowfell as part of a research expedition. Only one returned. The survivor was recovered approximately 18 months later and transferred to restricted containment under orders from the Duskborn Council. Within 5 years of this event, the first confirmed Shadowfell products began appearing across Tenebrisia, which led to the S.A.R.C.M to be founded and headed by Lady Mortruvia of the Duskborn Council. Modern S.A.R.C.M protocol recognizes this incident as the earliest known case of product genesis. Section 2. Stages of Shadowfell products. Stage 1. Husk. The first stage of a Shadowfell product manifests as a small creature known as a husk. Husks are small raccoon-like organisms with a plumped body, disproportionately small head, and a long spiked tail. Their exterior appears leathery and shadow-like, lacking conventional fur or skin. The most recognizable feature is the presence of 2 large teal circular markings on the front of their head, believed to function as sensory organs. Despite their unusual appearance, husks exhibit extremely passive behavior. They display little independent thought and instead seek to bond with a nearby creature. Once bonded, the husk will remain close to its host and attach itself whenever possible. Through prolonged skin contact, the husk drains extremely small amounts of vitals, a natural life essence produced by living beings. The amount drained is minimal and rarely causes immediate harm to the host, aside from a tired or drowsy sensation. Because of this, many civilians mistake the creature's behavior for affection. In recent decades, this misunderstanding has led to an unfortunate trend among Tenebrisian citizens, the keeping of husks as household pets. Many owners describe the creatures as cuddly, docile, or comforting. The S.A.R.C.M has conducted numerous public awareness campaigns advising against the adoption of husks. These campaigns have largely failed. Each year, an increasing number of husks are brought into private homes. While Stage 1 husks are relatively harmless, this practice represents a significant containment risk. A bonded husk will continue feeding until it accumulates enough vitals to begin the maturation process. Once sufficient vitals has been absorbed, the organism undergoes rapid transformation into a Stage 2 product. At this stage, the creature's internal concentration of negative energy increases dramatically. With the safety of the public and the preservation of Shadowfell secrecy protocols, all Stage 2 products are to be immediately aborted, contained, and terminated by S.A.R.C.M personnel. Failure to do so may result in the development of higher stage entities. Higher stage entities have historically resulted in mass casualty incidents. Stage 2 product. Blank. The second stage of a Shadowfell product is known as a blank. This designation comes from the creature's most recognizable feature, a thin horizontal teal line running across the front of the head where a mouth would normally be located. This is added in addition to the teal circles we discussed earlier on the husk. Blank resemble their husk counterparts in overall form, but their bodies undergo significant physical change during maturation. The previously plump body compresses and elongates, producing a lean and highly dexterous frame capable of rapid movement. And addition to this, blanks are capable of sprinting, climbing and leaping short distances, ambush pouncing, and compression and contortion of their bodies to fit in confined spaces. Unlike husks, which drain vitalis passively through prolonged contact, blanks extract vitalis through direct predation. This is typically achieved by attacking prey and consuming the vitalis released during injury, or, in most cases, death. Blanks are typically ambush predators, choosing to lie in wait for prey to come by so they may strike. Whilst hiding, they can employ a mimicry tactic to imitate things it has heard in the past. We do not know how long its memory spans. However, one thing is for certain. If you hear your own words repeated back to you, that is not your imagination. While most blanks encounters involve a single organism, several incidents have shown evidence of coordinated presence. In these cases, additional blanks have been observed nearby, either waiting for an opportunity to steal a kill or participating in loose backfeed behavior. For this reason, personnel are advised to treat any blank sighting as a multi-entity encounter. Field agents should assume that if one blank is present, others may be observing from concealment. All blank sightings must be reported immediately to the S.A.R.C.M Containment Division. From there, you'll be given one of the following containment methods: relocation, capture, or in most cases, termination. Stage 3 product. The third and final is the replicant. The replicant takes on the appearance of an elongated humanoid with shadowy and sinewy outer flesh. Has two teal circles that act as sensory organs, as mentioned before on the husk and blank products. But the thin teal line across the blank's mouth expands and forms into an uncanny-looking shape most make out look as if it is smiling. The replicant forms when a stage 2 product consumes enough vitalis from small prey to begin a new maturation process. Their bodies begin to stretch and elongate. Their back legs start to form into humanoid-looking feet, and their front legs into dexterous hands, capable of grappling and slashing. A replicant gets its name from its advanced mimicry that has developed since its previous stage, allowing it to not only copy sounds it has heard in the past, but copy an individual's voice entirely, allowing it to speak common and many other languages. Despite their now tall stature, they retain their ability to compress themselves from their blank stage ancestry. This helps this product during hunting, as its diet consists of mainly sentient humanoids. Let's follow the hunting process of a replicant to better understand how these products find and consume their prey. First, the replicant will find a humanoid it has a particular interest in. The product will then follow that humanoid to their home, where they will lie and wait. Either to get inside by burrowing underneath the house, waiting for a door to be left open, or hiding in a dumpster. Or, if they are already inside, they will choose to hide in a various number of places: child's toy boxes, closets, beds, or really anything they can feasibly squeeze in. Note, replicants do not have high patience. After a day or two of being unable to get their prey, they will search for others. Once they are hidden and out of sight, they will wait primarily for their target to go to sleep, so it may strike when they are most vulnerable. It will initiate its attack first by crowding its victim and subduing them. It will place its hand over the victim's mouth, as that is the best way to extract vitalis. It will then use its incredibly sharp fingers to target non-vital areas on its target, so it may inflict as much pain as possible, forcing its victim to produce the longest, loudest, and strongest scream as possible, which in turn yields the most vitalis, which is absorbed through the product's darkness-aligned flesh. Once the victim has finished screaming, they will be left pale and unresponsive, their faces trapped in a horrific expression. The victim's body will then be left on the ground, bleed out, and the replicant will flee the scene looking for more prey. In cases such as this, time is of the essence, as if the victim is brought to a hospital or administered medical aid, via conventional means or magic, once their body is able to create enough vitalis to restart the spectral system, they will survive. However, if the victim bleeds out, it is safe to say that the individual is completely dead, and no resurrection will be able to bring them back, as there is no trace of vitalis or their soul to go back. For this reason, Replicants are classified as the highest threat for S.A.R.C.M agents and should not be engaged unless given orders to do so. We will now go over historic cases of product genocide. We will now go over historic.
Attention! Due to new data and research by a group of 4 adventurers in the light,
a fourth evolution of Shadowfell fauna
has been discovered by the following individuals:
Lugulux Rentrin, Umarete,
Utao, Pipes of the Steam Show, and Nathaniel Ingram Corvo Escarout. Evolution 4 of Shadowfell fauna does not exist within the S.A.R.C.M databases, nor will any memory of Evolution 4 be recalled by any humanoids. For this reason, you... Recalling is when a replicant takes a gamble and decides the feast of many
humanoids is worth the risk of death
via retaliation. Usually, a sizable party of beings who understand their souls enough to destroy a replicant. However, if she has enough prey,
they will be able to out-heal wounds he sustains.
From feeding in such a crowded place, such as a full tavern,
Close off
to any outside help. From there, it's only a matter of time before each morsel is drained and resistance begins to crumble. Once a culling is completed, the replicant will begin to mature.
He will begin to grow,
like a butterfly emerging from a chrysalis. She too
will become something new.
Something beautiful. Every form
of Shadowfell fauna adds something.
The husk is the basic building block, formed of life essence,
or
vitality,
the Shadowfell,
or negative energy, and number 10, or primordial
darkness, passively draining just
barely enough vitalis
to survive the
blank, whereas that they must consume and end creatures' lives to gain larger amounts of what they so desperately crave.
Then
The replicant learns that larger prey carry much more vitalis, so they adapt their abilities and go after that next big catch. And finally, a grand replicant learns of surprisingly humanoid and mortal lesson. Fun!
And that concludes today's training. We hope you are better prepared to understand and identify Shadowfell products in the field. Thank you for watching, and we will see you again tomorrow for your final lesson, where we will be going in depth on the properties of negative energy.